All right, we are here today at the American Legion Post in Saugerties at 30 John Street, Langley Hackett Post 72. And it is March 6th, 2005, 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. And with us today we have
Richard Thornton.
Okay, and Dick is going to tell us his story. Also in the team with us today is me, Bill Payne, doing the interviewing, our Commander Walter Greczynski, and Kate Thornton, and Mac McElreath, who are taking care of our technical equipment. So, Mr. Thornton, did you enlist or were you drafted?
Well, I went up with a group when we were in high school, 4 of us, and I was going to join the Navy. I got turned down because I had a deviated septum in my nose. The other guys I was with, one got turned down from the Navy because of his eyes. The guy that was going to go someplace else decided he did join the Navy, and that fellow joined the Marine Corps. So, leading up to that, after graduation from high school, I volunteered for the draft. So, in other words, it took me about 3 weeks before they got me.
About when was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was in my birthday is August 13th. So I turned 18 on August 13th. I got a 1-day card on a Monday and a draft number 1, volunteered for the draft. And within 2 weeks I was in the service on my way to Camp Wheeling, Georgia.
What year was that?
1943.
1943. So you were living here in Saugerties at the time?
Oh, yeah.
And you graduated Saugerties High School?
That's right.
Yeah. And 1943, so you were on your way to Georgia, huh?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, we had basic training down there, of course, in Wheeling, Georgia, and I was with a heavy weapons battalion.
You knew you were going into the Army when you volunteered?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had made up my mind I was mad at the Navy because I didn't like the war. Well, in any event, I wound up down there. We had 8 weeks of basic training. And where they woke us up in the morning and they said, well, here's your typewriter. I looked at us, the 30 caliber water-cooled machine gun. And that's what I was with most of the time.
So right from boot camp onwards, you got your training in the 30 caliber machine gun?
Well, we all had to fire the rifle and the carbine and everything else. But I was primarily in the machine gun and the 81 millimeter mortar. And so that's what we got a lot of the training in.
I bet the weather was kind of hot down there then, yeah?
No, it wasn't, because every year we put up mosquito netting when we're freezing inside of your overcoat and pup tent.
And that was in Georgia?
That was in Georgia. Coldest winter I think I've ever spent.
Wow. And how was training overall? How'd you get through it?
Well, I had a little bit of a touch of the flu or something while I took the basic, but I slugged it out and I got through with my group.
What were your instructors like?
Well, they tried to make us hate them, I think. But they found out towards the end of the basic training, they found out they were regular. They were just doing what they were supposed to do.
So you got through boot camp okay, and then you had your training in the 81 mortar and the
30
heavy machine gun? Yeah. Okay. And where did you go after Georgia?
Georgia, I had 7 days home delay en route, and they put me in a camp, and they called it, I believe it was Patrick Henry. It was like building a swamp, what it was.
Where was that located?
Down in Virginia. And they took us from there, put us on a boat, USS Butner, and we zigzagged across the Atlantic and landed at Casablanca.
So you zigzagged across the Atlantic to avoid enemy submarines?
That's right.
Any ships get attacked by submarines?
Not well. No. We only had 1 ship across. That's why we were zigzagging, I believe.
So you landed in Casablanca in North Africa?
That's right. And we went from there. Boxcars we traveled in, going from Casablanca to Oran. And the second night out of the trip, we got a train wreck, and we lost 3 boxcars. So when we got to Oran,
Our troops got injured, hurt, killed?
yeah,
Yeah. But how many?
oh gosh, I don't know. I don't think, maybe about 20.
Really?
But they held up our packet going over to fill it because of these guys getting killed. So we spent a little longer time in Oran than we expected to.
Well, that must have been a different experience for you, being there in the Middle East, Arab country. What was that like?
We didn't lay anything down and walk away because they stole everything they could. That goes. And we just waited till we got the packet filled, and then we got sent up and signed.
Well, your job assignment was still the same?
Because of the delay in going up there, they come in, they took me in, they said, well, I see you had special mortar training, and I suppose you'd like to go with that. I said, no, I had a machine gun too. That was a stupid thing because that's the first thing they threw me in the machine gun. That's what I got assigned to my division.
And then you went into combat?
Oh, yeah.
And where was your combat? Where did it take place?
Well, it started pushed off from Anzio.
Okay, so you went from North Africa up to Italy?
Up to Italy.
And you landed in Anzio?
Well, no, we were in Italy on the darn thing.
Okay.
And then as my division moved up, we went up and moved to Velletri, actually.
And that was the 36th Division?
36th Division.
Most of these men were from Texas?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Crazy. They would come into a little bar room or something in Italy, and they'd take the owner and pick him up and put him outside, you know. And then they'd drink the wine, and every time they start singing the eyes of Texas are upon you, everybody had to stand up, even the Italians. It was sort of wild.
So you were in combat in Italy then for...
Oh, yeah. Combat in Italy. They brought us down, took amphibious training, and we invaded southern France. And fortunate or unfortunate, I don't know, I was in the second wave going in. And it was a funny thing because they had this pillbox that was firing, and they hit it with everything, bombs and everything else, and they were still firing when we hit the beach. And it wasn't so much of a beach, we practiced on the beach, but when it was like a gravel pit, you had to climb up the thing. But we were there, and we went in at 8:03, I believe it was. And the third wave went in about 10:40, somewhere around there. And then we started to move out.
Between Italy and France so far, were there many casualties in your unit?
We had some. I don't say it was, the group before me, the Rapidio River, they lost an awful lot of people. So, we lost some. You know, the darn thing, you never know when you're going to get hit or what. But and that went on, and I got hit, and I went back to the hospital.
You were wounded in action?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it that wounded you?
Shrapnel.
Was the enemy shooting artillery or
Oh,
mortars?
yeah.
And where were you actually hit? What part? Where in your body were you hit?
Oh, yeah, my foot.
You got hit in your foot?
Yeah. And I got hit a second time, but that's minor. Nothing.
So you went back to a hospital? Where was that?
They took me back to Italy with the hospital. And then when we didn't wait around, there's a bunch of it just took off and went back up to our outfit. Some of these crazy clowns are throwing ammunition and everything in the fire, you know. There's a thing off of it going. I said, gotta get out of here.
Yeah. That was their idea, something funny to do, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
some of these characters, I tell you, they were crazy.
Yeah. So you recovered from your injury to your foot?
Yeah, they more or less, I went back up, and that's, when I got up around Before they crossed the Rhine, I was in Dijon, France, like I did
Mhm.
at the time. And they took me back and they flew me back to England.
So this was the second time you were wounded?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So they got back there, and I think I was the first guy from the 36th Division that was back in England.
Mhm.
Because they had a guy, they picked up the litters to take them on the plane and put them back, and I think they made a mistake, put me on the wrong plane, which I didn't mind a bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we went from there, and I made what they call limited service, or no more combat.
Mhm.
And they tried to teach me to be a court-martial reporter, and which was all right, but it wasn't too bad.
Mhm.
And from that, we jumped to troop movement. I did something with that over there. And then we went in England to train some of the fellows that washed out of the Air Force.
Mhm.
So we did a couple doing that. And with that, I laid it down. Finally, I sent me home.
So you were in England at the time the war came to an end?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you, you were awarded a Purple Heart medal, I take it, for being
Yeah,
wounded twice?
Yeah.
Mhm. Did you receive any other decorations or citations?
I got the Bronze Star Medal
Mhm.
with Valor. And of course, what else? You know, like good conduct medal.
Yeah.
That goes.
What was the occasion that you got the Bronze Star? How did that happen?
Well, I think it was over in France where they sent us out to observe the border, and it was like in a little valley, and we got there, and then they had a tank got hit, so I had to go back and get the engineers, and bring them up, and take them up to where the tank was. So they, the funny part, well, it wasn't funny, but they, up there by the tank, and they said, "You're gonna stay?" And I said, "No, I just got it, I've done what I'm supposed to, I'm going back." I got back there, and they blew the tank up. So, they lost that whole group.
Mhm. So you were in England when the war came to an end?
Yes.
Mhm. And what did you think of that when the war came to an end? What was your thoughts?
Thank God. Of course, they were nuts for a week over there.
Mhm.
I was more or less in the hospital and convalescing out, and spent a lot of time around Swindon, England,
Mhm.
over there. And a fellow and I wanted to go into, I'm gonna say the capital, no, not the capital,
Oh, London?
London.
Yeah, it's a capital, yeah.
And a fellow by the name of Dan Flynn, he and I went in there on the, what the I'm trying to say. Anyway, we got into London, and we're coming up from the train. And as we get up to the top of the thing, we were outside, and I hear this buzz. They had the buzz bomb. And we listened to the buzz bomb, and it stopped buzzing. Then we waited, and down come boom. We turned right around, got back on the train, went back to Swindon.
Because London was a target for these,
Oh, sure.
for these German rockets that they sent over from Holland and France before the war.
I tell you,
came to an end.
I had to admire the civilians, how they really accepted it.
Yeah. The English people just lived right through it. Yeah.
English people were fine. They
Mhm.
treated, I felt they treated me fine.
So then you got to leave England and come home to the States, right?
I left England, they took us back home on a ship, and that was a dandy, a Kokomo Victory.
Kokomo Victory.
Never forget it. We went 24 hours and never moved until with the storm coming.
So it was making no headway.
No headway.
Was it a Victory ship?
Victory ship.
Yeah, they weren't built for comfort. You know?
No.
So you finally got back. How long did it take you to get across the Atlantic?
Well, we got in that storm, and we were supposed to have landed in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the storm, we wound up coming into Camp Upton.
Okay.
And they immediately gave us a pass because it was a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was that on Long Island?
I don't know.
Upton?
I know it was Camp Upton.
New York area?
New York,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
And so we went,
You
they
got a
allowed
pass?
us to go home,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you came home here to Saugerties?
came back to Saugerties,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had to go back, and I didn't know where I was, but I did find it, then we got discharged.
You got discharged from down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your folks were happy to see you again?
Oh, yeah.
You had kept in touch with them, of course, during the time?
Yeah, when I could.
Yeah. Wrote letters?
Yeah, I'm not a very good letter writer.
Yeah, me neither. Did they send you letters and packages and that type of thing when they could, or?
Well, one thing that was funny, I always had trouble with my hands in the cold.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And how my mother did it, I don't know. She went out, she got me a pair of mittens.
Uh-huh.
And I had the mittens
Mm-hmm.
I got them in April.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them back there in November, December.
Yeah. Got them in April, huh?
Yeah, I'd say that. I figured I'd ride around on a bicycle, I think it was mittens.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And while you were in, you had, how was the food anyway that was, when you were in the Army? Was it,
If you were in the back, if you were back in the thing, it's all right.
mm-hmm.
On the front. You get C ration, K ration, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're lucky if you're allowed to eat it.
Mm-hmm. You had the time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you usually have enough supplies of everything?
No, it used to burn me up. We didn't have enough troops, really. They spread them out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and next thing you know, you're having a holler with the guy outside.
So the line was kind of thin, huh?
The line was thin back there.
And did you feel particular stress and strain while you were over there in combat? I imagine you did.
You do.
Mhm.
Sometimes you think you're over it, you're used to it, and you run into something else. And it's like you're sitting someplace 24 hours a day, and you never know what's going to come at you. That's about the only thing.
You get a chance to entertain yourselves from time to time? Any kind of entertainment available to you ever?
Oh, when I was in the hospital, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And shows, films, that type of thing?
Yeah, we used to have it when we were in that packet, as I told you over there.
Mhm.
They used to, in Africa, they'd have a movie every night,
Yeah.
and you learn very quickly. You go out there and just, because it's hot in the daytime,
Yeah.
so like you freeze.
Yeah. Anything in particular you did for good luck?
No, not really.
And you mentioned that these fellas were throwing ammunition into the fire.
Yeah,
That was the kind of humor that went on?
well, it might have been humor, it scared the hell out of me.
Did you keep a personal diary when you were
No.
in? No. Now, you recall the day that your service ended. You mentioned you got discharged in Camp Upton, and
Yeah, yeah, it was in December of '45,
by that time the war in the Pacific was over also, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was there any chance that they would have sent you over to the Pacific, or?
No, but they were sending the people from over in Europe. They were starting to get the guys that just got there and ship them back.
Yeah.
In fact, I had a very good friend that beat me out of the service by about 2 months because he was one of them that was going back and forth.
Oh, yeah. And what did you do after you got out of the service? What was your, the days, let's say immediately after you got out, what happened then? What did you do? You'd been a high school graduate at that point, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
Well, I was going to, I come back, I was going to have myself a ball, a real ball.
yeah.
And, but when I got back, my girlfriend, who I went to school with and everything, that we decided we because of where I was going.
Mhm.
So I called her, and she says, yeah, we'll go out. And I was gonna have a ball, and on Valentine's Day, I got engaged. And we've been married almost 58 years.
Wow, yeah. So it wasn't just being a bachelor after that, you had to get married and start working, right?
That's right.
Where'd you work at?
I was fortunate enough to go to work with my father in the insurance business.
Okay.
And that was about it.
Mhm. Okay. So you had any, you didn't go for education at GI Bill because you, or did you?
I went to
Yeah.
Herrick. They were, it's a group that was teaching for the insurance.
Okay. They taught the insurance profession, huh?
Yeah.
And the GI Bill funded that?
No, I didn't bother with it.
No? Okay. How do you think your military service affected your life overall? Your attitude, your view on what you're doing?
Well, I really don't know. Stuff that you get gung-ho, you're going to do basic training, you say, to hell with it, You're really there.
And you joined veterans organizations, right?
Yeah, American Legion, VFW, and DAV.
You remember the Disabled American
Yeah.
Veterans? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you maintained any contact with other folks you served with?
No, I have a 36th Division Association, that's about it.
And you belong to that association?
I belong to that.
Yeah. Do you ever attend any reunions or anything?
No,
like
that
that?
away in Texas,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You never made too many friends,
Mm-hmm. Anything else you'd like to add that we haven't covered? Or?
No, I started when I got back with this, I became in public life.
Mm-hmm.
I was the original group of the Ulster County the Ulster County government.
Oh, yeah.
I was one of the original 33
Mm-hmm.
that they had.
For the county legislature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was, the county legislature. I was that for 8 years.
Uh-huh.
I got out of that, I thought that's enough, I didn't want it, but then about 4 years after that, they wanted me to run, I was supervisor.
Okay. Town supervisor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once I got out of that, I said, that's it, no more of that stuff.
Well, thank you very much, Dick. Appreciate it.
Okay, well,
Thank you a lot.
thanks for
Yep. Good luck. Thanks for coming.
and that's nice to hear that